Hello guys and welcome back to World of Tanks. Today I am carrying on my series of toxic premium tanks that are in the game. Now this is where I go through certain tanks in each country's tech tree line and pick out the premium tanks and say which ones kind of do not help the game, kind of break the game. Not necessarily good tanks. What I class as toxic could be tanks like, well, basically artillery is a good example. You know, you can have really bad games in it, but you can still kind of ruin one person's game by keeping them targeted so that they can't push, can't do what their tank's really there for. You know, damage their engine, damage their tracks, kind of just being a pest to them. Or, you know, that one artillery takes out that tank with a couple of hits, and that's all they do in the whole game. They don't affect the game too much, but they can just ruin someone's game, and it's just not really, you know, balanced or fair, and toxic for the game in general. And this is the first one. It's a tier 5. It's the Valiant. And is it particularly good? Top tier, definitely. It's obscenely good. It's got good armor, good rate of fire, good penetration, good damage. As you can see, we were hitting that tier 6 there. And doing a lot of damage to him, and he are doing more damage than he was doing to me, simply because we were putting out the shots very quickly. And as you can see, we were gathering the artillery there. Yeah, like I said, these are not the perfect example of the capabilities of these tanks per se. They're just obviously quick videos to show you what these tanks can be capable of, even if they don't necessarily show them in their entirety in these actual games. This wasn't a particularly good game. Obviously, TheRohanUK is not the game, the map you really want to be seeing in this tank. It's slow, and kind of that is basically its only downside. It's slow. Obviously, Tier 7s can deal with this quite easily. You know, obviously the armor doesn't really mean anything to a Tier 7. We're putting in premium rounds because we've got this well-armored tank in front of us. And there's a Valiant itself there. And obviously we're just going straight through its armor because we're hitting the rear and we're premium. And there we go, take it out. And that was just very quick there. As we can see, we're putting the rounds, premium rounds for that absolution, but it's gone now. But we'll see if we can get any more hits on it. Yeah, and it's just, you know, if you're facing tier 3s, you know, basically newer players, and they're just like, what is this thing? I can't, because I'm struggling to pen it. It's just hitting me every 2 seconds. As you can see, actually, this is a pretty good game, to be honest. We're not top tier, and we've got 2,500 for tier 6. That's pretty good. Like I said, we only came third in the actual game itself. But you know, we're only 76 XP away from basically beating and getting second. Yeah, it's a pretty toxic tier 5 premium tank. Now, if you do like the video, guys, do give it a like and subscribe, because I'm doing a whole series. I'm going through all the nations. I'm doing a single video on each big nation, and then I'll probably put some of the smaller nations together to save. So, you know, because obviously there's some of the smaller nations don't have very many broken or toxic premium tanks, so there's no point in really bringing you just one 4-minute video. Anyway, we're in Bellerophon. Now, this isn't a particularly good game here, guys. I just really struggled to have any good games in this thing. Always seem to be bottom tier for some reason. And as you can see, not sure why I'm not penning. Yeah, this is toxic because it's a Centurion, which we have in Tech Tree, but it's just a lot better. It's got spaced armor on its turret. Even tier 10s will struggle to pen the turret armor of this thing, and it's got a pretty damn fast reloading gun, especially with your low premium rounds. You're going through most things, not having to really, I say, really hit weak points. But this KV here is another kind of toxic tank itself, to be honest. Now, like I said, I didn't have any good games in this thing. I struggled to have any good games in this when I was trying to get replays. And I'm going to push here, and it's going to cost me. Something big at the end of at the back there hit me pretty hard. Of course, again, bounced, and not just really struggling to pen anything in this game for some reason. Obviously, now at this point in time, it's very unfortunate because obviously I was struggling to hit anything, but I'm also having to be very cautious because I've got very little hit points left, thanks to the couple of hits I took from that AMX. There we go. Nice hit into that thing. We've got just over 2,000. And like I said, work this turret a bit better than I did. And yeah, gonna have a very good time. It's just unfortunate we didn't have any good games when I was trying to get a replay. I think I had like 3 games and they're all pretty rubbish, mainly because I was bottom tier. And again, did not pen that. Not sure why I'm struggling to pen this thing. And as you can see, we bounced a fair amount, trying to keep it tracked. But there you go. Actually, it was not a bad result, to be fair. And the thing is, I can literally do a bit of spotting as well, because obviously if I get to a hold down position, even if I didn't want to do any damage, I could poke up, bounce shots, get some spotting damage, and then duck down again, especially when you're especially when you're bottom tier. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go on to the next game in a second. I think what we are in that one is the to be honest, I'm not sure what we choose next. It's the Centurion AVR, and that's why we didn't cut, because we went straight into the next game pretty much. This thing is well, you'll see what exactly this tank is like in a second when we get into a game. Now, I think everyone who's played this game will know exactly why the AVRE is in this replay. And this one recording, this was the first game I had in the AVRE. Most of the games I'm bringing you are literally the first game I've had in it. Unless it's totally doesn't really show off what the tank's capable of, then I might have played a second or third game. Like in the Bellerophon, I literally did. That was my 4th game or 3rd game, and I still didn't consider it all that particularly good. Mainly because we were struggling to really show off what it was capable of, which is hold down. It's really good, like really good. And as you can see, we are struggling to get a match here. And that is because, I think this was recorded on Thanksgiving weekend, I think. Quite possibly, so maybe people celebrating Thanksgiving, I guess. Another reason why people think the game's dying, I guess, as well, because we're struggling to get a game. There is 82 pairs in the queue, so I'm not sure. I'm guessing it's not quite balanced enough to put us in a full game of players, I guess. As you can see, we're on Redshire. I really do struggle with the names of the maps, to be honest. Show me what map it is, and I'll totally know where to go and things like that. But just remembering the names is quite difficult. Now, this was all recorded after the update, a recent update, and we've actually got a new map in the game. And I played for 3 or 4 hours, and I only saw that new map once. That's ridiculous. It's like, I need to get to know this new map, and I can't do that if I'm only having one game in it. Obviously, probably a bit of bad RNG, as usual, because, yeah, this same gaming session, I had terrible games. Lost so many of those games, but came pretty much top in every game. So that was, yeah, again, it's like just bad luck. Yeah, as you can see, the AVRE is known as being one of the brokest tanks in the game because it's a medium tank. It's another Centurion variant. So what's so special about it? Why is it so broken? Well, it's pretty fast. You can see. So almost a Centurion hull. It's got a massive derp gun is the problem with this. Yes, the reload is long and its accuracy is pretty bad. But you're hitting things for over 1,000 pretty much most times. If you pen, it's over 1,000. It's ridiculous. As you can see, there's another one there. We splashed him. Didn't pen him. We splashed him for 500. So you pretty much do not have to aim in this tank. You can splash people to death for over 500. Gun depression is the major drawback of this tank. You cannot get your gun down very far on the front because of the extra armor. That's right, it is a Centurion with a derp gun with extra armor. As you can see, hit that tank for well over 1,000 damage there. Yes, we penned that shot, pretty much killed that guy in one shot. And I could sit there because I know it was difficult for them to pen me, and even if they did pen me, it's going to be worth it because they're going to be penning me for 400-ish. I'm going to be penning them for over 1,000, so I can take that hit. I'm more than willing to take that hit in exchange for a penning shot. Now, again, pen that shot. That was a tier 8. Nothing you could do really about that. You could try to have hidden his bottom plate, but I think he was trying to be fair. Now, unfortunately, artillery is a thing in this game. We're trying to get a shot on this guy because he's going to be a pain. And we got the slimmest of shots, and we think we penned that. As you can see, we only fired at like 4 or 5 shots here. And I've got 6,000 combined damage. Unfortunately, no kills yet. But, yeah, we could have, again, I was going for that tank because you can splash him to death. But, yeah, didn't have to. Someone else took him out. And we've won this flank quite easily. And, you know, I've lost almost 1,000 of my hit points. But 4,000 hit points, I've gained 6,000 damage on the enemy team. Not much they could do about it. Like I said, it's insane. Like, yeah, it's pretty insane. Most derp guns are on slow tanks, and there's a reason for that. But this is pretty nippy. It's a medium, and it's still got pretty good armor. It's got extra armor on the front, so it's very difficult to pen this thing from the front. Obviously, you do, if you want to get the gun down, you do have to expose your side. But like I said, you know, if you're going to take a hit for 300, 400, maybe even 500, and you're penning them for over 1,000, you know, you're willing to do that, right? And I've seen that numerous times. I've just seen the Centurion just pop out into the middle, out into the open, take a hit, but then pen my teammate for over 1,000, or pen me for over 1,000. It is extremely toxic. It's bad for the game. But yeah, and of course it was part of a season pass, I believe. So loads of people have got it because it wasn't very expensive. Not that should matter really, but it's bad for the game. Oh, just missed that shot. Should have taken my time a little bit more there. Could have easily got over 7,000 with that hit. And there's not many enemies left. 2 artilleries, a light tank, a medium tank, and I don't know what the TDs are, but probably could quite easily pen them as well. So we could pen all of these guys, and obviously get over 1,000. We get a bit. I don't know why I took that shot. I really don't know why I took that shot. As you can see, the Waffle was considered a very broken tank in the past. Couldn't pen me from the front. As you can see, we've actually bounced 2,680 damage. That would have obviously taken me out. Plus a bit extra. And there we go. Penned. 8,000. Over 8,000. Finally got a kill. Now I'm going to break it to you guys. This isn't a mastery game. Now, I think pretty much if I was in any other medium tank and I was having this big of a game, yeah, I know I haven't got many kills, but I still think I probably would have got a mastery in most medium tanks at tier 10 with this kind of game. But it's not. It's just a first class, guys, because this tank is very, very broken, and there's people having some absolutely massive games. I'm just going to spoil it. We don't get any more damage, unfortunately. Didn't think I would at this point, but it's a bit of a shame. Would have been nice to have another kill. Since we've done so much damage in this game, it's just bad luck from the perspective of not getting any more kills. Yeah, but as you can see, bad for the game. Because basically, why I mean it's toxic for the game is obviously you could have the worst player in the game and he could still ruin a pro player's game with one hit. You know, the bad player could zoom at the beginning of the game, zoom towards the enemy team, light up most of the team. They all spot him. They all start firing at him. He's going to bounce a couple of shots. All he needs to do is fire one shot at a good player, hit him, pen him for over 1,000, set him on fire, destroy most of his crew. Could possibly kill him in that one hit. And he's ruined that one player's game completely. And he didn't use any skill in that thing whatsoever, you know. That's kind of like the whole point of what a toxic tank is. It can ruin someone's game, someone else's game, without that person that's doing the shooting having any real skill. Now, actually, in this game, I've also got another YouTuber playing on my team, Petty. I quite enjoy his videos. Now, obviously, he is a good player. I was hoping that meant that we were going to have, as I was having a lot of bad luck, I was presuming that him being on my team would basically mean we were finally going to get a winning game. Unfortunately, that wasn't the result. And we are in the Caliban here, guys. It is a terrible tank. It's got a derp gun again, and now That's a bit of a common feature for toxic tanks. This has got a derp gun. It's technically a heavy. It hasn't got the armor of a heavy, and it's pretty fast. So it's more of a medium. As you can see, the aim time is super slow. That is the main issue with the thing. It's just the load and the aim time are terrible, and it's derpy as hell. And that's the difference between the Centurion and this tank. Centurion actually has some armor. You can actually get up close and personal, meaning the slow velocity and the derpiness isn't as bad. But obviously we've got to stay at range. This means that we're going to miss a lot of our shots, and this is what I'm going to show you. This is why it's not particularly fun to play either. First half of this game, I missed all my shots, hit the dirt, and it's just a terrible game. But we will finally land some shots, and that will show you why it's toxic, because of how hard it hits. This is, remember, a tier 8 in the game. We're getting a bit of assisted, but not much. We're not going to get, like I said, this isn't a good game. But I'm just showing you the capabilities and the reason why it's bad for the game, and toxic. As you can see, the shell velocity in this thing is horrendous. Now you can play it a bit like heavy, especially when you're like top tier, because you can use your hit points instead of your armor because you don't have any, or play peekaboo, and basically still get a lot of damage out, because obviously you're more likely to hit and more likely to pen at close range. I particularly do not like this tank. I really struggle to get on with it at all. Probably not using it all that well. I'm playing it like a medium, where I probably should be playing it like a heavy. And again, just fluffing those shots because the shell velocity is so slow. But this is where we start hitting some of our shots. Now that Earthshaker's gone, we can poke up on this hill a bit more and take our time to aim our shots a little bit better. Yeah, it's just not a fun tank to play. If you really like dirt tanks, then you might enjoy this, but just keep in mind you do not have armor, so yeah, it's gonna end probably badly for you in a lot of games, especially if you're kind of using the gun how it should be used at fairly close range. Trying to keep my aim off of him so he doesn't panic and pull back. Unfortunately, just kind of rushing our shots a bit because he's ducking behind cover again. Just waiting for some shots on anyone at this point in time. Of course, yeah, he gets shut down. Not sure really why he was pushing that heavily at this point in the game on his own, when our team is definitely not pushing. Now, and we finally hit and penned a shot, and that was a tier 9 heavy tank, and we hit him for 874. Like I said, doesn't work often, but when it does, it hits really hard. Ruined that guy's game pretty much. He's only got 500 hit points left. Now he's up there. Can we find the shot on him? And we do, and we take out, I believe that was a tier 10 heavy. Didn't hit him for, well, hit him for 700-ish, which was all his hit points, taking him out. Now, obviously, we were very lucky that he just sat there and took the hit. Obviously, very unlikely to happen again, especially at this distance. and just kind of just hoping to get any more shots. But we don't really get much more out of this game, I'm afraid, guys. Like I said, I'm bringing you toxic tanks, not necessarily broken tanks. This is just a toxic tank. It's pretty bad, so it's not much fun to play. It's not much fun to play against, because you definitely don't want to be getting hit by this thing. Again, the thing with derp guns is, yeah, it doesn't really require much skill. As long as you're the person playing it knows how to we'll just splash that guy, but we're going to take a lot of hits here. But luckily, this guy's not aiming very well, so we do bounce some shots there. Yeah, because basically a new player who doesn't know how to play this game, all they have to know is that the circle, when it's smaller, is more likely to hit, and that's all they have to do to ruin someone's game. Basically, is just wait for the circle to go down and hit someone for 800 damage if they pen. Unfortunately, like I said, again, it's like, I know this is a particularly bad tank, so I know I can't really make much of a difference in this game, especially when we're bottom tier, right? Hoping not to get artilleried here. And that is the thing, is repositioning here, try to get out of artillery's range. And another reason why I do not like, I'd rush that shot, I really do rush that shot, but all we had to do was splash him. Again, toxic tank, just hit us on the side there for 500, and pretty much our whole team is dead. Was thinking, and then we go again, not spotted for quite a while, still splashed us for a fair bit of our health. And our team gets absolutely wiped. Our only TD that's left is on the other side of the map. Now we're going to get surrounded. Now this guy is not very good, and we do manage to splash him to death, but we got grilled. Not much we could do about that against tier 10. Yeah. About 2,500, couple of kills, but yeah, toxic tank. We're just watching this, and like I said, I was considering making another series after this about toxic or broken tech tree tanks, and maybe 3-4 years ago this would be on it, but it's not anymore. It's just been replaced so hard by and you can see artillery is hitting every single one of these shots. Ridiculous how accurate artillery is. Yeah, it's just not competitive anymore, this tank. When you got premium tanks that just outshine it in every category. As you can see, artillery coming in again, hitting it again. Not doing much damage, but it's just doing enough at this point. Yeah, this guy, don't know what he was really thinking. I would have stayed behind that hill behind and wait for them to come to you. I mean, still would have lost, but he could have taken out a couple of them. As you can see, we actually came top of the team. That's how bad our team did. But we were competitive against tier 9s and 10s because of the dirt gun on this thing. Yeah, so we are now in the G-Saw, which again, not particularly good game, this one, unfortunately. But this is quite a broken one. Not just toxic, but pretty broken. As you can see, it's got 4 shots in the clip. We're actually firing on another toxic tank there, the Minuteman. which bounced. I looked it up afterwards. Blocked like 2,000, well over 2,000 damage there, and he was just YOLOing, and that's what I mean by toxic tanks can be used by pretty bad players and still get good results in. Not every time, obviously. Not not saying it's gonna. If you're not very particularly good player, that buying a premium tank is just gonna make you have great games or anything, but it improves them. As you can see, like I said, 4 shots can pretty much clip out most tanks at tier 8, especially if you're top tier. Yeah, God help anybody that's up against you when you're fully loaded, right? Yeah, obviously the drawback is long loading time, but obviously in this day and age when matches can last literally a few minutes, you might only be able to get 1 or 2 clips in. Now obviously another thing is obviously RNG, possibly bouncing or not hitting your target, but as anybody who's played this game a long time will know, if you've got a auto loader that has a long reload time, just put premium in. Usually has better shell velocity, better penetration. You're more likely to pen all of your shots that way, and means your clip's going to be more efficient, especially when you're taking that long to reload. You want to be making sure that all your shots, or the majority of your shots, hit and pen. So just load premium, and that's kind of not how you should balance a tank. It's just by going, well, you just got to load premium if you want to be better and more efficient, and that's kind of just how it is in this particular tank. We're kind of sitting back here, which is kind of a mistake at this point, because our team's absolutely crumbling, which is a real shame. Now again, this thing has got fairly decent armor, to be honest. Trying to get smallest of shots on that thing, and we feather that shot in very nicely. The armor's not too bad on this thing. Can bounce occasional shots. It's a turreted TD, which honestly is such an advantage over turretless TDs. It's just nothing to be sniffed at. It's also quite stealthy and fast. Like I said, there's not that many drawbacks on this thing. Honestly, like the load time is the only real drawback, and the aim time is pretty slow as well. But with the right crew skills and equipment, you can really bring those down. And like I said, again, make sure you're loading a lot of premium rounds, and you're pretty much golden in this thing. Now, the reason why, like I said, I didn't have a particularly good game in this thing for the video I was doing today, but the thing is, I actually get most of my hit points taken away by an opposing G-Saw. So just kind of like going to show that the G-Saw is very good. And yeah, quite toxic in fact. Now we're using obviously bushes here to try to have the advantage of outspotting enemy tanks, because there is a lot of TDs. Now I'm guessing obviously their stealth will be pretty damn good as well. And unfortunately, my 2 guys in front of me have very little hit points, so I'm expecting to lose this game. I'm hoping the enemy gets bored and pushes rather than my team get bored and push, because that's just going to lead to a loss if we try to push towards them, because we're going to get... And that's the thing, is like moving, firing the gun brings your camo down, and these guys are heavies, so they're just going to get outspotted way before they spot them up, and they're just going to get killed. Could I push and spot them up? Possibly, right? And here we go. He's got bored. We're making sure we load, fully aim, and there we go. Yeah, unfortunately, last shot didn't get in there before someone else killed him, but we put 3 shots into that guy and stripped him of all his hit points, pretty much. And that's the problem with this tank, really. We did get spotted, but we didn't get fired upon, or no one actually hit us. We are almost loaded again, so in a slow-moving game like this, it's perfect, because obviously we can get in plenty of our clips. Unfortunately, just not very effective with our clips so far. And again, of course, he gets away with that. It's very annoying. But he's unspotted. I'm expecting to poke again. Blind fired, hit and penned. Don't expect him to still be there, but you know, go for another reload. As you can see, insane reload, really. A bit like the Iron Rain from that perspective. Honestly, it's better than the Iron Rain, this one. Simply because you're faster. Quite honestly, that's pretty much about it. You can get out of dodge if you get, you know, the area you're in is compromised. You can get out, whereas the Iron Rain, you're probably not going to get out because you're just so slow. And the shell velocity on the Iron Rain's pretty rubbish as well. Now we're expecting, obviously, the enemy to be pushing right now. Get one shot into that guy. He pens me because he's again. So, and we're getting shot. Don't know how he's getting shots on me, to be honest, right there. But yeah, there's a G-saw there. Hit me for most of my health. And obviously we're up against the Panzerjäger as well. Another broken tier 8 TD. So I'm just like, yeah, it's no way we're winning this now. When they got a G-saw, and a Panzerjäger, just, yeah. And one of our TDs never logged in. He's been AFK, or disconnected from the get-go, which is very unfortunate. Anyway, if you did like this video, give it a like and subscribe, guys, because I'll be bringing you more in this particular series. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye bye, guys.